Your eyes are all wet now. You know that I'm lying. I swear I was only protecting your heart. But there are some reasons, and also some pictures, which if you saw they would rip you apart.
Hey folks, you're listening to Star Wars, Delusions of Granular with your host Ron. We're a Star Wars podcast where we talk about Star Wars twice a week. We release an episode on Mondays and Thursdays of each week, and we pick a Star Wars topic and we get granular about it. Alright, so I'm just going to jump into it tonight. So there's been a lot of talk about Luke and his absence from the last Force Awakens trailer, and apparently this is the last trailer we're even going to get before the movie comes out. So this is it, folks. But there's been a lot of talk that Luke might be. What if he's turned to the dark side? Right? What if he's What if he turned to the dark side and we didn't even know it? We saw him turn to the dark side in Return of the Jedi, and we didn't even realize it. He kind of gave in to his anger and lashed out at Vader, and that's his way of, or the Jedi's way of turning to the dark side. Well, what I wanted to do tonight is I wanted to talk about this, because not about Luke, not about, well, I'll get to Luke, but not about him turning to the dark side or if he's good or bad in the new movie, but just kind of the nature of the Jedi. I feel like here on the show, back when JP and I were talking about things, or even since JP's gone on hiatus, I've been talking about things. But have we actually gotten it down and officially our stance on the Jedi? Well, okay, here it is, folks. The Jedi are assholes. Yeah, that's right. I'm saying it. Now, before you get up in arms and turn off the podcast, let me just say, this is all meant in good fun. I love the Jedi as much as the next person. I love Star Wars. I'm not trying to bash on anything, but I'm just kind of, let's take a different point of view on the Jedi, right? We, the fans of the original trilogy, the ones that were there right from the beginning, we grew up with the Jedi. We always kind of thought, well, the Jedi were good. They're the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy, and they are, they're the good guys, and the Sith, the dark side, they're the bad guys, and there's no gray area. There's no blurry lines between the two, and I know we've talked about the blurry lines on past episodes as well, but strictly talking about the Jedi this time, right? Well, are they really that great? Let's take it Jedi by Jedi. Now, I'm not going to run through a lot, but I'm going to run through the big ones, and I'm going to start out with the ones that aren't in the movies, because they kind of are leading me to think about the Jedi that are in the movies a little bit differently. We have Kanan and Ezra in Rebels, and they're struggling as Jedi. They don't quite really know what they're doing. They don't have a master to guide them. Kanan himself isn't really a master. He was only a Padawan when he lost his master, when Order 66 went down. So he's not a full-fledged Jedi, nor is Ezra the Jedi he's teaching. So kind of going to leave them out of this. Although, they are Force users, and they are in the rebellion, right? So there's that. But there's also Ahsoka. Now, Ahsoka, folks, if you're new to the show, you may not know this, but we here at SW Dog are big, huge fans of Ahsoka Tano, and we think, honestly, she's made it into the top 5 as far as my favorite characters of all time in the Star Wars universe. So she's a fallen Jedi. She kind of walked away from the Jedi Council in the Clone Wars series, and has popped up again in Rebels. And not only has she popped up again in Rebels, but she's actually in the Rebellion, right? So we get someone who actually was a Jedi who was fighting in the Rebellion, which is a lot more than what we got in the movies. We got Yoda and Obi-Wan who ran away. They refused to, fight in the Rebellion, or as far as we know, they're not in the Rebellion. So all right, let's just kind of run down the asshole Jedi, Jedi by Jedi. All right, let's talk about Mace Windu. Now, Mace Windu, played by everyone's favorite Samuel Jackson, he came off to me like a complete asshole right from the get-go. We see him, he's sitting there all high and mighty on the Jedi Council, and refuses to let Qui-Gon teach Anakin. Says that Anakin is there's too much anger and hate in him. Can't train him, right? Well, okay, fine. We'll get to that later, but Mace Windu, cold-blooded murderer, kills Jango Fett in front of his son, and doesn't really, doesn't blink twice. Now, some of you'll say, "Oh, self-defense." Sure, but we get that shot of Boba Fett afterwards, kind of mourning his father, and then we get Boba Fett in the Clone Wars series, and Mace Windu doesn't really show any remorse for what he's done to this poor kid's life. Okay. I know. I'm treading on stuff we all know, right? Well, let's talk about the final act of Mace Windu in Revenge of the Sith. He attempts to kill Palpatine without a trial, and if we're to think that the Jedi are all good, and then why would he even consider not giving Palpatine a trial? No, gotta kill him. He's too dangerous. He controls the Senate and the courts, and no, just gotta kill him. Okay, all right. So the Sith are that dangerous that you can't try them. They're just terrible people, right? But at this point, we're to believe that the Jedi are compassionate, right? But they don't really ever show compassion. Okay, so let's move on to Yoda. Yoda, Qui-Gon tells him that he's encountered what's possibly a Sith, and Yoda's like, well, we need to take some time to investigate this further. But do they ever investigate it further? I mean, they basically, Qui-Gon, the investigation is Qui-Gon gets killed. That's your investigation. Qui-Gon was right. He was a Sith. He got killed. And then we get to basically Mace Windu saying, "Look, the Jedi, our powers are diminished. We should maybe tell someone about this, And Yoda, who is like, let's not do that. Let's not tell anybody. That's just going to cause more problems than it's worth. I'm like, really? That's what we're doing? We're gonna keep our powers, our lack of powers, a secret? Aren't you supposed to be serving the Republic? And nope, just gonna kind of go behind their backs and not tell anybody. It'll all work out fine, right? And at this point, I'm just like, okay, really, Yoda, this. If we're really kind of looking at things carefully, like, how are we supposed to like the Jedi at this point? And I ask you as an audience, because I know that a lot of people big fans of the Jedi, and myself included. But like, if you start to get, dare I say, granular about it, like, the Jedi kind of are jerks, right? And now you can say that it's like the dark side is clouding over everything, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like the actions of the Jedi, or maybe Lucas's way of saying, look, not all good is good. There are gray areas, right? So back to Yoda. Basically the Emperor takes over, and what does he do? He goes and runs and hides. And this is what I was getting at earlier. We now know that Yoda's been hiding out on Dagobah for years, not joining the rebellion, not giving any information to the rebellion, as far as we know. Now, this could be changed in Rebels, but we have Ahsoka, who has joined the rebellion and is apparently taking, some real action against the rebellion. Or, I'm sorry, against the Empire. She's actually doing something in the rebellion, and she's finding out more about this, this Sith warrior, Darth Vader, and Yoda and Obi-Wan just kind of hiding out. And it's just like, well, okay, that's, I get Obi-Wan's kind of protecting Luke, but Yoda, well, it's kind of a coward, dude. Like, you're kind of just like a coward. And again, folks, I'm not trying to be bashing any of the movies. I'm not. Just kind of looking at things differently. That's all. And kind of in light of the story that's moving on, that's being told in Rebels and in the novels and that, it's like, well, I think they better show some more Yoda in Rebels, or else it's gonna kind of play out like, well, it didn't do much for the rebellion. We got Ahsoka doing stuff, but not doing anything. I mean, on top of all that, like, Luke goes and trains with Yoda, leaves abruptly, comes back, and talks to Yoda again on Yoda's deathbed, and we now know that Yoda fought the Emperor, right when the Emperor kind of became the Emperor, right? Force lightning, bad dude, basically caused Yoda to run and hide. Doesn't give Luke any warning at all. No warning. Just, hey, good luck. Remember what we taught you. Like, dude, what did you teach him? Did you teach him anything? Because I think he was kind of surprised about the Force lightning coming out of the Emperor's hands. Wasn't really expecting that. Way to go, Yoda. Great teacher you are. All right. Well, that leads me to the other great teacher, right? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, Obi-Wan Kenobi. A fan favorite, easily, right? Fan favorite, whether it's Alec Guinness's take on it or Ewan McGregor. I know a lot of people out there like him. Obi-Wan Kenobi, right from the Phantom Menace, right from the beginning, kind of a jerk, kind of arrogant, kind of dare I say, a racist. That's right, I said it, I used the R word. Yeah, he says it. What are we, picking up another pathetic life form? It's kind of shows that not only did he think less of the people around him, but kind of very much against the Gungan race, because that was who they picked up first, right? They picked up Jar Jar, and now they're picking up Anakin, and Obi-Wan just kind of not the open-minded character that we thought he was, right? Well, if we go to the original trilogy, we know that Obi-Wan is a liar. He lied to Luke, from a certain point of view. No, you lied. Yeah, you lied. I mean, that's, obviously Lucas was, writing the story as he goes, but, comes off in a bad light. That, not telling Luke right from the get-go that Darth Vader was Luke's father. I can see where things can, you can let things slide, but when you kind of sum it all up, it's like, well, gee, give me some good qualities in the Jedi, because I'm seeing a lot of bad, right? Obi-Wan also, as far as we know, didn't really help much in the rebellion, the beginning of the rebellion. Kind of runs off and hides and protects Luke. But what? You got to do something, dude. You recorded that message. You warned the other Jedi, but you didn't really do anything to stop. Again, I go back to Ahsoka. Ahsoka was doing something. You're not doing anything. You're just protecting Luke. And was Luke in that much danger? We all kind of knew Vader wasn't going to go back to Tatooine. He hates sand. And then when finally Obi-Wan does get called back to the rebellion, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope, right? Leia calls him back. He's like, okay, gotta go take care of this rebellion thing. Come on, Luke, we're gonna go. What does he do? Doesn't really do a lot to help the rebellion. He kind of goes off on his personal vendetta to kind of catch up with his old pupil of his, Vader, and this is you're gonna sacrifice yourself instead of at this point the rebellion probably could use as many Jedi as they can get, and you just sacrifice yourself, and it's come back more powerful than you can ever imagine. Well, how do you know that? Really? That's a fail in my book, folks. Just a big fail for Obi-Wan. All right, well, let's go back to the prequels. Qui-Gon Jinn. I personally think Qui-Gon Jinn was probably one of the better Jedi, because he was kind of not down with all of the Jedi ways. He's kind of... Wish we got more of him, because I kind of felt like Qui-Gon was kind of stand opposed to the Jedi Council. I always just got that feeling. Qui-Gon, bit of a rebel, right? But Qui-Gon also kind of a dick too. He does take Anakin away from his mother, and you could have did a little bit more. That's gonna damage any kid. But that's the Jedi way, right? That's the cult that the Jedi do. They take young kids and separate them from their loved ones, because Jedi can have no personal connections. I was like, kind of gross. Yeah, and he just kind of point blank refuses to free the slaves on Tatooine. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to just kind of get parts for my ship. Sorry, got my hands full. Sorry, but I'll free one, because he's got a lot of midichlorians and all that. But the rest of you, sorry, can't do it. Well, good one, Qui-Gon. Good one. Also, Qui-Gon, you're kind of arrogant. Right away, you're right. Almost the first lines in Phantom Menace, these negotiations will be short. The Neimoidians, they're cowards. Really? You're just going to classify the whole race as being cowards? That's kind of arrogant of you. I don't know if this falls in a good or bad category, but he does kind of go against the Jedi Council and intends to train Anakin anyway. Even though he doesn't get a chance, he does end up, telling Obi-Wan that it's his dying wish to train Anakin. Well, okay, so you're a rule breaker. I'm not going to put that as a black mark against you. But, I mean, you did kind of sign up with the Jedi, and you're not going to follow their rules. Like, what is just kind of the assholes lead the assholes here, right? Like, just kind of, all right. So let's talk about Luke, right? Luke's the new hope, right? He's the one that he's gonna solve everything, right? So let's talk about Luke's actions, because I mean, come on, Luke is the heart and soul of the movies. He's the hero. But immediately, his aunt and uncle are murdered by stormtroopers, and he has a moment, takes a moment, but seems like he's a little bit more upset about the loss of Obi-Wan Kenobi than the guardians that raised him for 19 some years, right? Like, dude, how long did you know Obi-Wan Kenobi? And you're in tears, but 5 minutes outside of Anchorhead, you're like, Aunt Beru who? Uncle Owen who? Like, okay, kind of, okay, not really the mournful type, except for when, you're Obi-Wan Kenobi, the guy who you've known for, a very short period of time, dies. Oh my God, the world's gonna end. Let's take it back. Let's go back to what we've learned in the new canon. We've learned that the book Lost Stars, that the destruction of Alderaan had a huge impact on not just the rebels, but also on a lot of the Imperials on the Death Star. Kind of upset about this, kind of showing them in a different light, that, these people actually aren't all that bad. They may be working for or following a bad guy, working for the Empire, but these are people that have feelings. They have lives outside of their jobs. And then Luke comes along and kills them. He's basically responsible for thousands of deaths on the Death Star. It's like, okay, we're all watching that movie and rooting for him. Yay, Luke, use the Force. Proton torpedoes, go right in there. But in reality, I mean, he just blew up like a huge space station. Like, a lot of people were on there. Like, you killed a lot of people. Like, okay, justified. They did blow up a planet. Like, that's a pretty big deal. Probably killed more people, but it's like, ugh. Okay, all right. Stopping. I'm stopping. I'm not gonna get all negative here. He wasn't a Jedi yet, so I can't really kind of, blame the Jedi for that one. Okay, so he does, go and train, and then he ends up disobeying Yoda, and blah blah blah. Okay, all right. I'm not gonna hold that one against him. But then he basically he becomes a commander in the rebellion, right? And like he kind of abandons the rebellion constantly. Like he's fighting in the battle on Hoth, and then like the rebellion needs to rendezvous, and Luke's like, yeah, I gotta go off and do this thing. Like, dude, they made you a commander in the rebellion, show some responsibility. But okay, all right, not getting negative here. He was training to become a Jedi that the rebellion could use, right? So okay, he goes, fights Vader, kind of gets his ass kicked a little, and then he's like, okay, gotta really kind of brush up on this Jedi business. Comes back, beginning of Jedi, Return of the Jedi, the movie, and he's, obviously practiced his Force using abilities. He's kind of a badass Force user now. I'm not going to say Jedi, but kind of a badass, right? But he's still like, dude, you're not on, you're still not really doing anything for the rebellion, right? You're off rescuing Han, and okay, Han is, a big part of rebellion too, but like the now canon book that we got about Princess Leia was like, Mon Mothma was like, telling Leia, look, you can go save Han, but it's not really. We need you here with the rebellion. We need you to do rebellion stuff. Like saving one person is not as important as doing all this rebellion stuff. But I mean, Luke's kind of just not a good rebel. Kind of off doing his own thing. All right, but they do save Han. So that all worked out. Good for them. Goes on a mission for the rebellion. Finally, right? We get him on a mission. He's actually doing rebel stuff. He's, on Han's task force to go down the moon of Endor. And immediately he's like, I shouldn't be here. I'm kind of like, I got this thing with Vader and he senses me. And I'm probably I'm going to really mess up this mission. Han being the good guy is like, nah, it's all in your head. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. But he does. He goes and like surrenders to Vader like almost immediately after kind of encountering the Ewoks. He's like, yeah, I gotta go do this thing. I gotta do this. And I was like, okay. By doing that, you're pretty much alerting the Empire that that old shuttle that went by with the old codes that checked out, but they were old. Yeah, that's probably the rebels, right? You just kind of alerted the Empire that the rebels are on the Forest Moon, right? Well, okay, maybe they found out before them, but still, like, you're just thinking about yourself, dude. You're just kind of just thinking about yourself. Alright, so Luke is the big hero, though, right? He goes on the Death Star, he defeats Vader, he defeats the Emperor. Well, he doesn't actually defeat the Emperor. Vader defeats the Emperor, and Luke saves Vader. Okay. But Vader dies anyway. But like, when all of this would have happened anyway, I mean, wouldn't the Death Star have been blown up with Vader and the Emperor on it anyway? Because, I mean, the Emperor is pretty much arrogant as Tarkin was, and Tarkin refused to get off of the first Death Star, so you would think, well, yeah, the Emperor, this is his pride and joy, he's not going to get off this Death Star, so yeah, he would have probably gone up in flames anyway. It's like, okay, Luke, you went off, did your personal business, didn't really do anything for the rebellion, and you got out of there in the nick of time, but you didn't really do anything. And then, taking this back to where we started, like, okay, so now people are worried that Luke may have turned to the dark side and we didn't know it, and he may be the bad guy in The Force Awakens, and we may have already witnessed him turning to the dark side by giving in to his anger. I say, what's worse than turning into the dark side is he may have become a full-blown Jedi, and I'll say it again, folks, the Jedi are kind of assholes. And that's my take on it tonight, folks. The Jedi are assholes. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'm all full of shit. Whatever. Just my take on things for this evening. Just kind of thinking it through in a different way. Folks, I hope you're not offended by anything I had to say tonight. I'm not trying to bash on any of the movies. I love them all. sometimes the Jedi, they get on my nerves and they're kind of assholes. So, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, but I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. This is Delusions of Granular. As I said earlier, my name is Ron. You can find all of our episodes, if you haven't found us already, at delusionsofgranular.com. You can download or stream or whatever you want on our website. All of our past episodes are on there, and I recommend going back and listening to some of our past episodes, because this is a journey we're on, and we're trying to become better fans by doing this show. So, yeah, you can go back and listen to past episodes. JP, my co-host, and myself talking about granular stuff. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/swdog, on Twitter at swdog77. You can find all of our episodes by subscribing to us on iTunes or Stitcher, and you can talk to us directly. Give us a call, 651-337-9364. You can leave us a message on our hotline, and we'll take your suggestions, whatever you have, criticisms, rants, whatever. Tell us we're full of shit, we're wrong about anything, whatever. We just want to hear from you. Or if you don't like talking, you just want to send us an email, swdog77@gmail.com. I'll be checking the email regularly, and I hope to hear from you. All right, folks, so I'm going to be talking about the Jedi again in the next episode. A little bit different take. So if you are fed up with my Jedi bashing for an episode, don't worry. I'm gonna talk about the Jedi in a different light next episode. So stay tuned, and until then, folks, stay granular.
Goodbye. I'm an asshole. I was a pig and never no good. Now you can see through the streams in your eyes. Every nickel is wood. Your lines are all fading. Your models all last year. I am still a young man and I need a new car. Your friends will all hate me, but I know I'm smarter. I'm in love with a fan and she thinks I'm a star. She will never, so I won't ever. I won't watch you cry. Goodbye. I won't watch you cry. Goodbye. I'm an asshole.